I wonder how I would have done as a bookmaker, as I believe I called this race. Better luck next time.
This year than days on the calendar, with 212 in 144 days. The president said there have been over 900 incidents of gunfire on school grounds since the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting in December of 2012. Locally, Gwinnett County Police announced that they will partner with Gwinnett County School Police to provide extra patrols for school tomorrow. From the live desk, Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Country. Today, she says it was an inelegant delivery, but she defends the argument that Georgia has a lot of work to do.
Their response to a comment on their record is to deflect and to pretend that they have done good for the people of Georgia. We are number 1 in maternal mortality, number 2 in the number of uninsured. We are number 6 in infant mortality, number 9 in gun violence. We are number 48 in the provision of mental health services. And the challenge I have is that
Abram said at the time.
Race, Brian Kemp winning that primary handily with 73% of the vote. And also the race for the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate. Herschel Walker, again, coasting through this race, winning that primary with 69% of the vote. I do want to touch on with our analysts, we just heard Lucy McBath address her campaign supporters, declaring victory. Theron, what do you think put her over the top to beat the incumbent, Carolyn Bourdeaux?
Well, first I want to join Congresswoman Lucy McBath in offering my condolences to the families that lost these students' innocent lives in Texas, and definitely want to start there. It's what I said earlier, Christine. If you really look at Lucy McBath and how she actually became a congresswoman, she became a congresswoman in 2018 by defeating a Republican incumbent. She since then has gone to Washington, and she had really a very sort of direct message to the voters in the 7th District. One, she's a mom. Her son Jordan was killed basically only because of the color of his skin, because he was playing his music too loud. And so I think that at a time where this country is going through this grieving, where we just saw the numbers that you guys reported were 200 plus now mass shootings in this country this year to date, I think she was able to really highlight that campaign. But lastly, I also want to thank Congresswoman Carolyn Bourdeaux as well. I mean, she really ran a really good race. I said this before, this was a very tough issue for me as Democrats and all, because we had 2 great women who have gone to Congress and did a fantastic job. But clearly tonight, Lucy McBath raised the money, she had the message, and she definitely made sure that she had the ground game to be victorious.
And if I could, real quickly, I think of watching that speech, that's the reason Lucy McBath won. She has this incredible ability to connect with voters. She comes across as so passionate about what she's talking about. She has compassion, and I think that's what put her out on top.
Yeah, I think another race that's really compelling is the race for Secretary of State, and that nomination. Do you remember a time, Brian, when Brad Raffensperger said he was going to run for re-election? This was right after the controversy here in Georgia, and people thought, what makes him think he can win re-election? And look at him now.
Well, I think everybody thought that he was going to be a new character on The Walking Dead, and he has risen from the dead. I mean, he is Lazarus tonight. No one in the pundit class, no one in Republican politics thought that he was going to win outright. Everyone was convinced that he was going to be headed to a runoff and that maybe he would lose straight up tonight. So the margins for Kemp and for Herschel are a little bit surprising, particularly for Kemp. But Raffensperger potentially avoiding a runoff will be the national story of the night here in Georgia. Mm-hmm. This is where the focus has moved to. No other Secretary of State in the country has national name ID, but Brad Raffensperger.
The Secretary of State.
Everybody knows who this guy is.
People all over Georgia with over 40,000 miles in my truck. In 1 year, I was out there visiting, talking, and meeting and sharing. And I had some, great times meeting wonderful people. Luke Bryan is spot on. Most people are good. In fact, most Georgians are wonderful. And today, we found our proof. Standing for you, standing for the rule of law and election integrity, and standing for the truth, and not buckling under the pressure is what people want. I was elected to serve the people, and so I shall, and so I have. It is very difficult for me to express our deep gratitude to everyone who has voted for me. We did have days of challenge, and you came alongside us. You were a refreshing breeze. Tricia and I are ever grateful for you. Thank you for coming to our election night party so Tricia and I could thank you personally.